Hello and welcome to my channel. I will share with you the story of the movie Insurgent, which was released in 2015. I hope you have a good time listening to it. Before we start, let us make a little review about the movie Insurgent. Insurgent is a 2015 sci-fi movie that is based on the second book of the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. It is a sequel to the 2014 movie Divergent, and it follows the adventures of Triss, a young woman who is part of a group of people who do not fit into any of the 5 factions that divide the society in a futuristic Chicago. Triss and her boyfriend 4 are on the run from Jeanine, the leader of the Erudite faction, who wants to use Triss' special abilities to unlock a mysterious box that contains the secrets of the past. The movie has received mixed reviews from critics and audiences. Some praise the movie for its action scenes, visual effects, and performances of the actors, especially Shailene Woodley as Triss. Others criticize the movie for its confusing and implausible plot, lack of originality and depth, and reliance on exposition and flashbacks. The movie has a rating of 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 42 out of 100 on Metacritic. Here are some excerpts from different reviews of the movie. Insurgent surges along with capable set pieces but less meaningful human interaction than in Divergent. But at least 2 sequences deserve applause. Mark Kermode, The Guardian. Insurgent is an action-packed movie that offers impressive visual effects and thrilling sequences, such as jumping on and off trains, flying through burning buildings, and fighting in virtual simulations. Susan Lasazina, Roger Ebert. Overall, Insurgent is an entertaining movie that will appeal to fans of the genre and the books, but it is not a masterpiece of cinema. It is a decent sequel that sets up the stage for the final chapter of the series, but it does not stand out as a memorable or innovative movie. The main characters and casting of the movie are as follows. Shailene Woodley as Beatrice Triss Pryor, a 17-year-old Divergent fugitive on the run. Theo James as Tobias Fort Eaton, a Divergent, former Dauntless member, and boyfriend of Triss. Kate Winslet as Jeanine Matthews, the cruel leader of Erudite who has the Divergents hunted down. Miles Teller as Peter Hayes, a former Dauntless initiate who betrayed Triss and 4 before, but later helps them escape. Octavia Spencer as Johanna Reyes, the kind and gentle leader of Amity who offers refuge to Triss and 4. Naomi Watts as Evelyn Johnson Eaton, 4's estranged mother who leads the factionless and plans to overthrow the Erudite. Jai Courtney as Eric Coulter, a ruthless Dauntless leader who works for Jeanine and hunts down Triss and 4. Ray Stevenson as Marcus Eaton, 4's abusive father and a former abnegation leader who joins forces with the factionless. Zoe Kravitz as Christina, Triss' best friend from Dauntless who supports her throughout her journey. Ansel Elgort as Caleb Pryor, Triss' brother who betrayed her by siding with Jeanine and Erudite. Maggie Q as Tori Wu, a Dauntless tattoo artist and rebel who helps Triss and 4 escape from Erudite. Daniel Day Kim as Jack Kong, the leader of Candor who interrogates Triss and 4 using a truth serum. Insurgent. Triss Pryor is a Divergent, a person who does not fit into any of the 5 factions that divide society in a futuristic Chicago. Each faction values a different virtue: abnegation for selflessness, amity for peace, candor for honesty, dauntless for bravery, and erudite for intelligence. Triss was born into abnegation, but chose to join Dauntless during the choosing ceremony, where all 16-year-olds must pick their faction for life. There, she met and fell in love with 4, a former Dauntless leader who also turned out to be a Divergent. Together, they uncovered and stopped a plot by the Erudite faction, led by Jeanine Matthews, to overthrow the abnegation government and wipe out all Divergents using a mind control serum. Now, Triss and 4 are on the run from Jeanine and her Erudite soldiers, who want to use a mysterious box that contains a message from the founders of the city. The box can only be opened by a Divergent who can pass all 5 faction simulations. Jeanine believes that the box will give her the ultimate power to control all Divergents and create a perfect society. Triss and 4 seek refuge with the Amity faction, where they meet Johanna Reyes, the kind and gentle faction leader. However, they are soon attacked by Eric and his Erudite soldiers, who have tracked them down using a serum that can detect divergence. Triss and Four manage to escape with the help of Peter, a former Dauntless initiate who betrayed them before by siding with Jeanine. Peter claims that he wants to redeem himself, but Triss and Four are still suspicious of him. They join forces with the Factionless, a group of outcasts who live in the fringes of the city and reject the faction system. They are led by Evelyn Johnson-Eaton, Four's estranged mother who faked her death when he was young. Evelyn reveals that the box contains a message from the founders of the city, and that only a Divergent can open it. She also tells them that she plans to overthrow the Erudite and establish a new order where everyone is equal. Triss agrees to help Evelyn, but Four is wary of his mother's motives. He thinks that she is using them for her own agenda and that she does not care about him. They infiltrate the Candor headquarters, where they hope to find allies among the Honest faction. However, they are subjected to a truth serum that forces them to confess their secrets in front of everyone. Triss admits that she killed Will, one of her best friends from Dauntless, while he was under Jeanine's mind control during the attack on Abnegation. She also reveals that she is haunted by nightmares and guilt over her actions. For confesses that he loves Triss more than anything, but he is afraid of losing her. He also says that he does not trust his mother or anyone else. Their confessions cause tension and distrust among their friends and allies. Triss also learns that Jeanine has captured some of her friends from Dauntless, including Christina, Tori, and Uriah, and is using them as guinea pigs to test their divergence levels. She sees them being tortured and killed one by one in an attempt to open the box. Triss decides to surrender herself to Jeanine in order to save them, despite Four's objections. She hopes that she can open the box and end Jeanine's tyranny once and for all. Triss is taken to the Erudite headquarters, where Jeanine subjects her to a series of simulations that correspond to each faction. She has to face her fears and demonstrate the virtues of each faction in order to pass the tests. She manages to pass the first 4 tests: Abnegation by sacrificing herself for her mother's memory, Amity by calming down an angry mob, Candor by telling the truth about her feelings for Four, and Dauntless by fighting off attackers in a burning building. However, she fails the last test, Erudite by forgiving herself for killing Will. Jeanine declares her unfit and orders her execution. However, Peter helps her escape and reunites her with Four and the Factionless. He says that he owes her for saving his life during their escape from Amity. They launch an assault on the Erudite headquarters, while Triss goes back to the simulation room and opens the box. She realizes that she has to accept herself as a Divergent in order to pass the final test. She forgives herself for killing Will and embraces her identity as someone who belongs to all factions. The box reveals a video message from Edith Pryor, one of the founders of the city and Triss' ancestor. She explains that the city was an experiment to produce Divergents, who are genetically pure and can restore the balance of the world outside. She says that the world was ravaged by war, greed, and violence, and that the faction system was created to preserve humanity's best qualities. She also says that the experiment is over and that the Divergents are the key to the future. She invites them to leave the city and join the rest of humanity. The message is broadcasted to the whole city, causing chaos and confusion among the factions. Jeanine tries to stop it, but is killed by Evelyn. Triss and Four celebrate their victory, but are shocked, and Evelyn announces that she will enforce martial law until order is restored. She says that the factions are abolished and that everyone must follow her rules. They realize that they have traded one tyrant for another, and that Evelyn does not care about the message or the world outside. They decide to leave the city with their friends and find out what lies beyond the wall that surrounds it. They hope to find a new life and a new purpose in the unknown. They also hope to find other Divergents and other survivors of the war. They prepare to venture into the unknown, knowing that they have each other and that they are free. The message of Insurgent is that one's identity is not defined by a single trait or a single choice, but by a combination of factors and experiences. Triss learns to embrace her divergence, which means that she has the qualities of all 5 factions, and that she does not have to limit herself to one. She also learns to accept her past actions and forgive herself for her mistakes. She realizes that she is more than the labels that others put on her, and that she has the power to change the world. One's loyalty is not determined by a faction or a group, but by one's own values and beliefs. Triss and Four have to decide who they can trust and who they can ally with in the midst of a war. They discover that some people are not what they seem, and that some people have ulterior motives. They also find out that some people are willing to sacrifice themselves for a greater cause, and that some people are willing to betray their own kind for personal gain. They learn to follow their own conscience and their own heart, rather than blindly following a leader or a system. One's actions have consequences, both positive and negative, and one has to take responsibility for them. Triss and Four face the consequences of their choices, both individually and collectively. They have to deal with the loss of their loved ones, the guilt of their actions, and the uncertainty of their future. They also have to face the consequences of Jeanine's choices, which have led to the destruction of the faction system and the oppression of the Divergents. They have to fight for their freedom and their rights, as well as for the truth and the message hidden in the box. They have to make difficult decisions that will affect not only themselves, but also the fate of their city and their world. Thank you for watching.